Just want to run through these objectives of the day, and I just want you to, in a second, just spend literally 3-4 minutes on tables, just testing whether these are the right things. We've got a lot of people in the room, we're going to be here all day. We want to make sure that what we're looking and focusing on today are the things that are going to be of most use for you as people who are going to be delivering this, in the future. So first one's around just really spending a bit of time celebrating the success of the programme. I think sometimes we don't do enough of that, so we do something, we do it well, and then we move on to the next thing that's tricky. If we can just capture some of the learning and some of the insight from what the successes are and replicate those in other areas, it's a really, really good way of getting through some of the things that are challenging in any system. Share the learning and the progress made, and then we've got some colleagues here who are from some of the neighbourhoods who weren't involved in the programme. It'd be really great to get your input through some of the table working on, what would you like, what would you need for other neighbourhoods to want to take this approach or to want to take forward on it? Because probably getting told that someone else has done something and it's really made an impact and you should do the same probably is not the way forward. Doesn't seem to work that well previously. So just getting your input onto what would work and how we should start to engage other neighbourhoods would be incredibly helpful. And then we want to get into that sort of action planning piece. So we got feedback from the last workshop on what should we put in this roadmap. So plan post 20 weeks to really embed and grow these pieces. We've put those in the roadmap. Got a bit of feedback from some of the ICP leads on that. We just want to test some of those areas with you. What the key areas are. What's in those actions. Check whether they are an accurate reflection of what we got from you in the last workshop, and then get your builds on those. Where the gaps, what additional things should be in there. And then at the end, we'll just get a bit of an update from possibly ICP, definitely ICS exec leads on. So how are we going to start taking this forward, and what support needs to be there at ICS level, for instance, to enable neighbourhoods to keep going on this, and what needs to be done at those sorts of system levels to help it as well. So let's just spend literally 3-4 minutes on your tables. Just let us know whether they're the right objectives or whether there's anything else you want to get out of today. And then we'll just go around and get sort of, top one burning thing per table or a couple of tables to add. And then we can tweak the agenda if we haven't got it quite right. So we pick up the pieces that are most important to you. Thank you. Sustainability. Pretty.
Yeah, we feel you've got the right things there, but we feel we do need to spend a bit more time on those system barriers that the question that came up earlier today. We actually feel we need to spend time on that. And also it's the alignment with other key programmes, for example, personalised care. So how do we do that join up? I mean, that provides the interventions. So.
Brilliant. So we've got some workout sessions this afternoon, so we'll build that into what some of the tables work on. Anything in addition?
Really, so we shouldn't really sort of be skating over that last bullet point, because that's massively important now in terms of how we take this forward.
Okay, so make sure we're not skirting over the sort of ICP and ICS support that's needed to enable this. Brilliant. Were you guys on the same? Okay. Anything additional?
Sorry, yeah. So we just again wanted to kind of reiterate commitment to dedicated support, both time and financial, right across the ICP. But secondly, commitment for a wider stakeholder engagement using a bottom-up approach. And I think the other one was ownership. We did mention this at one of the last workshops. In order for the vision and the idea to become and scale it across the system, we need to have some kind of ownership where the system and the other partners have a say or can see the benefits, so that they have that gain share of any surplus profit across the PCN and across the communities, to give them that incentive.
So that's around, in terms of objectives for today, that's around making sure that we're thinking through the how this is going to, how to make sure we've got the right resource, how to make sure the incentives start to align that are going to change the behaviour and cause the sustainability. Make sure that some of those pieces come through. Thank you, Yaz. Anything on this table in addition? Okay, great. Anything here?
So it's a comment about the last bullet point, which looks like the ICP and ICS execs are going to have all the answers. And I think the discussion on our table was, what are the key questions that we now need to ask? Because I think actually that might be quite important for people in the room.
All right, smashing. So being not necessarily just about the answers, but being clear on what are the next key questions that we need to be doing. Gary?
We currently spend about over 40 million in CCGs, of which about 20 million is on CSU. We receive £22 million worth of national transformation funding, which broadly funds people working on various things. So you're talking over 60 million quid worth of management input there. And I'd like to reinforce what Jackie was saying, that we've got to stop doing some of the things we currently do, particularly the way we go around contracting and a lot of the stuff that we do around there, which is a sort of governance overhead, which is too top heavy at the moment, and divert some of that resource to do the things that Dom is saying we need to do. And if you think about the broad numbers that we're talking about here, we have actually got enough people, we've actually got enough resource to do this. We just need to agree how we're going to face in a different direction and do things differently.
Smashing. Thank you, Gary. Anything at this table? Anything to add on objectives?
No, one thing that we'd like to capture that we've not already done so is we've currently got Slido up and running. So if you have any comments or suggestions that you'd like us to record moving forward, please do use that, and the information's on the agenda. But it's just to reiterate what's been said, that in terms of moving forward, we have got what we need in the system. We are data rich, we've got lots of people, we've got lots of interventions, but we just need to move forward and look at how we reorganise those in a little bit better. And I think the 20-week programme we've seen is a really good example of how we've done that, and we've shown some really good motivation and mobility in the system. So it's about how we keep that traction going and capture that good work that you've all done.
Thank you on that. Anything in addition you guys want to pick up? Pretty much there. So from what people have said on the tables and from what we've got here, just checking a couple of last tables. Anything to add? That's about right. Fantastic. I think there's one last table here. You guys, anything you want to add? Sorry,
Adrian.
already asked you. So many tables. Have I missed anyone? Oh,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
close.
Yeah, I just wanted to come back to pick up on both Dom and Gary's point, because I think it's a really important point. In Pennine, we spend 1.14 billion. If we cannot find some money from that to support this, then I think that's a reflection of failure. So I think for us, that's our test.
Brilliant. That's a really helpful point, I think, well made by a number of people in the room. So let's make sure we keep focusing on that. One last point, John, and then we're going to move on.